By Whisper Vault. Eliza Morningside had never believed in ghosts. She grew up in the city, surrounded by rational people and logical explanations. Shadows were just tricks of the light, creaks were the cries of old wood, and nightmares faded with morning coffee. So, when she accepted a job as the night archivist at the abandoned Harrowick Library, she did so with skepticism, not fear. The library, closed since 1989 after a fire in its west wing, was being quietly reopened by the town council. Her task was simple: catalog the remaining books and restore the archives before the grand reopening. Her first night began with the low hum of fluorescent lights flickering to life, casting long, slanted beams across dusty marble floors. The air smelled of mildew, paper, and something faintly metallic. She rolled her suitcase down the hall toward the archive room, her boots tapping sharply in the silence. By midnight, Eliza had already cataloged 6 boxes of books, each more brittle than the last. She moved efficiently, headphones in, a podcast playing about haunted houses, a topic she found ironically soothing, until it started. At first, it was just a whisper, a faint hiss, so soft she thought it was the air vent. But when she paused her podcast, the whisper remained. It didn't come from any direction. It came from everywhere, like the walls themselves were breathing. She told herself it was stress, lack of sleep, the building settling after decades of neglect. But then it whispered her name. Eliza. She froze. The whisper was so gentle, almost loving, it slipped into her ear like silk. Eliza. She spun around, flashlight trembling in her hand. Nothing, just books and darkness. The next night it happened again, and again the night after. On the 4th night she found the book. It was buried beneath a pile of charred volumes in the western wing. Its leather cover was blackened but intact. The title was etched in Latin, Vox Tenebris. She didn't know the language, but she didn't need to. She felt the meaning, the voice of darkness. Eliza lifted it slowly, heart pounding. The leather felt strangely warm, almost alive. She took it back to her workstation. As she opened the cover, the lights above her flickered violently, and the air grew thick like the room had sunk under water. Inside the book, there were no words, only symbols, strange, twisting runes that shifted when she stared too long, as if they writhed on the page. Eliza. The whisper came again, closer, sharper. Her heart hammered in her chest. She slammed the book shut, tossed it in a drawer, and locked it. But the whisper didn't stop. If anything, it grew louder. The library was no longer quiet. Now it breathed. Over the following days, she found things changed. Her keys were in different pockets. Books she'd shelved were back on the floor. Once, she saw her reflection blink before she did. Then came the scratching. Soft at first, from inside the walls, then louder, more urgent, like nails clawing wood. Some nights the whispers turned to screams, hundreds of voices shrieking in agony, demanding to be heard. She tried to quit. She packed her bag, grabbed her things, and ran to the exit. But the door wouldn't open, not locked, just gone. Where the door should have been was only smooth wall and more shelves. Eliza, the voice moaned, you opened the book. Now you must feed us. Her world unraveled. Time twisted. Hours passed in seconds. Minutes stretched into days. Her food spoiled in the bag. Her watch spun backward. The flashlight died, but the halls glowed with an unnatural light. Faint, blue, and pulsing like veins. In the mirror behind the reception desk, she saw them for the first time. Figures, tall, thin, and draped in shadows. No eyes, no faces, just gaping mouths that whispered constantly. They stood in the reflection, but not in the room. She screamed. They smiled. One night, desperate, she found a hidden room behind the eastern shelves. Inside, old records lay strewn across a desk, along with a dusty reel-to-reel tape recorder. A journal rested beside it, written in a familiar hand. Thomas Gray. The name rang in her ears. He had been the last archivist before the fire in 1989. Her fingers trembled as she opened the journal. They speak through the books. The more you read, the louder they become. They are not ghosts. They are memory eaters, shadows of forgotten souls bound by the ink of cursed pages. Vox Tenebris is the heart of them. The book is alive. It feeds on curiosity. It used me. Now I am one of them. Beneath the final entry was a sketch. A horrible drawing of a man melting into the floor, eyes gone, mouth stretched open in silent scream. She stumbled back, knocking over a stack of records. The tape recorder clicked. It played on its own. A voice, deep and hollow, whispered, "Read the book." Eliza screamed and fled the room, but the shadows were waiting. They didn't chase her.